Okay.
Not too bad.
Yeah, well, I take pills and put them out. I seen Bill's truck running down the highway. I was like, okay. I was like, talking to Jason, you seen Sean or Ted? Nope. Ted's truck's gone. Little he didn't wake me up. It's like, alright. So, we jumped in the truck. We left. And I'm like thinking, you know, if I don't have gas in this thing, we're not going to do very well today. So I drove to the Yampa, topped off the tank, filled up your cans, so they're in the back of the truck. Thank you. And then,
did you fill mine?
No, because I didn't use any of your gas. But if you would have thrown them in the back, I would have filled it up.
Well, there's like 5 of them out there empty.
Well, we'll have to work on that. So,
it's diesel, number 2.
I know. So, we're coming back.
Let's fill up with unleaded.
Yeah, we should. His diesel will run like a raped ape.
Whoa.
So, it will for a few minutes.
Woo! A lot of white smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And that's about $6,000.
yeah.
My dad put gas in my diesel tractor one day. I see a bunch of white smoke. Man, that can't be good.
Nope.
But it didn't ruin it.
Well, you got lucky there.
Yeah, I got lucky, real lucky.
So, on our way back, we're like, where was Sean saying about this place? I said, I don't know where that I've never been there. Well, something about Topona's store and there's a road there. So I come flying through Topona's doing about 70. I seen a road. Oh! Slammed on the brakes.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
Yeah. Backed up. Bet you that's it. Let's take a gander. Got on the road. Heading north. Like north to Alaska. Almost wanted to sing the Johnny Horton song. So we get up there and come to this Y. Well, let's go east. So we head up towards Muddy Slide. I gotta see what this thing looks like.
Big hole, right?
Oh my gosh. So we get up there and it's like, well, we're coming up the edge. Okay, park the truck, get out. Stand up. Oh my gosh! That is like, woo!
We must have just missed them, huh?
That's the road.
No, not the road. The hill drops over Rich like that. And I'm like thinking, this is toboggan time. Where the hell is this snow? Because it's like a mile to the bottom.
Really?
Yeah.
You go over the edge, we'll pick you up in the spring.
Oh, no kidding. So we stand up there for a little bit, take a few pictures. And it's like, well, okay, well, let's go over here. So I turned off and I went further east. You can go park by that green gate up there. Okay, so we start walking up the trail. Fresh deer. That's nice. Okay, so we keep walking a little bit longer. And keep in mind, it's like 10,200 feet, okay?
Way there.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay, we gotta stop. I gotta catch my breath. Anyway, well, we get about halfway up to the top. Here comes this fella in one of those razors. It's like, all right. So we get off the side and we start talking, you know.
You forgot the part that you talked to some military guys for 40 minutes.
Well, that part's not relevant for the story. So anyway,
That's not interesting.
yeah, they wouldn't understand all the
I talked to a
jargon.
military guy today for 9 hours.
I'm sorry.
Nice to you. So, got talking to him. His name's Kevin. He's out of Fargo, North Dakota. Yeah. Him and his buddy are up here hunting. So we get up, and he's telling us, he's talking. He pulled out a 6x6 opening day. Well, that's what he told us. Okay. So we get up there, and and the trail splits off again. Another Y. Let's go this way. And then he's asking me, are four-wheelers allowed up here? Oh, somebody's got tracks up here before you. There's four-wheeler tracks. And he says, well, I was just making sure because the lady down at the store said it's okay. All right, let's keep going. And so Jason, myself, and this guy are like packed in one of them freaking razors.
Yeah.
Nice.
Two-seater or
Two-seater.
The door was creaking. I was going,
I'm in the
I was
middle.
about to
Oh,
bust
you're the real
open.
cowboy
I'm just-
then.
yeah.
You don't have to open gates, and you don't have to
Exactly.
drive. You get to just ride.
So we get up there, and then we're like zipping along, and all of a sudden we seen this muffling, you know, weird stuff in the snow. Stop. L track. That's today. 2 cows, maybe 3 cows, and a bull. Okay, so we're like talking. Well, we can hunt together. Okay. Well, actually, what they wanted us to do was all the hard work.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So he took Jason down and dropped me off, and I started working the woods. It's not a bad walk. You can walk it, and you're not all the time. Okay, you can breathe. You just have to, keep in mind the oxygen is a little thinner up there. So I come out on the trail because I didn't know it, but the trail kind of hooks like that. And I'm like, well, I see the four-wheeler tracks going off that way. So, yeah, he's filming. Yeah. So I'm like, well, they must be up that way. So I go tootling up there, expecting, to catch another ride someplace. Get up there, no four-wheeler. And I start looking around. I don't know those tracks. That must be that guy, Kevin. I know those tracks. Those are Jason. And he's headed up the hill next to the damn cliff. Because you look over and you're like, wow, this is God's country.
Yeah.
Poof! And I'm like, man, I'd like to sit up here and just blast. Because you could shoot down if you had a long-range rifle and knock something out. So I didn't see him. Didn't hear any four-wheelers. So I started walking back up. And seen some more elk track. Onesie twosies. They're moving in there. And I'm like, well, I don't know where my brother's at. Don't want to go too far. I don't know where the guy on the four-wheeler's at. I'm just going to plant myself right under by the power lines. So I planted myself. Figured, well, my blood sugar's dropping. I should probably eat a granola bar. So I ate the granola bar. It was exciting. There's more noise.
Good granola bar.
The best granola bar I had today.
It's got to be organic. It's an organic granola bar.
About 15 minutes later, I hear the sloughing, right? And it's crunch, crunch, crunch. And I'm like, what the I'm starting to reach over for my rifle. I'm like, no, it's not
You're
that.
going to shoot me.
Then I see my brother. He comes tooting along, right?
Shoot him! Shoot him!
I should have. He's bigger than
Shoot him!
So he comes tooting along, and he's like looking at my tracks. And my tracks are going up the middle of the road, and all of a sudden, phoop, there's a 90-degree turn. Boom. And I'm like in this little covey of pine trees. And he's like looking at the tracks. He sees the tracks going that way, and he's looking up the road. And I'm just sitting there looking at him. Finally, he looks up and he sees me, and he's like, oh.
The great tracker.
Wow! I found my brother!
Human! Oh, and it's my brother.
Yeah. So we hung out for a while. We figured, well, let's go up and watch this, the right-of-way where the power lines are. So I walk up to it, up to the tower, I step up on the concrete block, and I'm like, should I go up there? No, I probably shouldn't. Look down the right-of-way, and I'm like, oh, that looks and it is, because when they cut, they just logs everywhere. So I'm like, well, let's skim it. So we go over to the side. No, forget it. Let's go out to the road. So we go out to the road, walk up about 7,500 yards, cut back in, and we plopped ourselves there and warmed ourselves in the sun. For
Now,
about...
hold, stop. Turn. That was me. I would have been heading back to the truck.
Okay.
You would have
So-
been wheezing.
We warmed ourselves. We had good brotherly conversation.
About mom and dad and all
Mom,
that stuff.
Dad.
And how much I love you.
Stock, yeah,
You're my
I love
little
you.
bro.
God,
God, yeah, so you gotta throw him in there.
You bet.
Gotta
So he
have-
means the theology.
You're in God's country, for crying out
Exactly. So 3:30.
loud. Straight to that. Cheers.
Amen to that. Cheers.
Amen. Thank you, God.
So about 3:30, because I asked him, hey, what time is it? So I could feel it starting to get a little cooler. And he says 3:30, and I'm like, well, he said he wanted to be done hunting by 5 so he could be on the road while it's still light. Okay. So,
4.
yeah, it's light in here.
I said be here by 4 or 5.
Okay. So we started hiking back out, and we're walking up, and I'm not going to tell him everything, because we'll just bypass, because those are boring parts. Anyway.
Yeah, she talked for some other guy for half an hour.
Yeah, we did talk to another guy from Colorado Springs for half an hour. So, we finally make it down to the truck. I urinated. I don't know if you did or not.
That's
Multiple
important. That's
times.
an important part. Bring it over here. Bring it over here. Urination is an important part of the story. Go ahead.
Right.
Urination is the greatest nation.
Yes, it is.
It is.
What relief.
Cheers to that. Come on.
Go back.
Ah, here.
All right, here we go.
So, get in the truck, and I'm like thinking, should I put the chains on? Because it was pretty slick coming up. In my truck, she needs new shoes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's too much work.
Stop. Turn this way. His track needs new shoes every year.
True. True.
So I'm like, okay. So we start taking off. We're driving down the road. And we're, doing pretty good. And we're listening to some tunes, on his phone and then on my phone and stuff like that. And then all of a sudden I see these lights coming up on my tail end. Plus the guy in the little Razor coming by. So he stops. And he starts. I pull over so he can get by. And he stops. I roll down the window. He gets out, comes over, and starts talking. Oh yeah, I seen this, that, and the other. And he says, "Never take a Razor down a horse trail." Looked over on it. Side of it was all scraped up. He laid it on its side twice. And I'm like, man.
$18,000 vehicle.
Yeah, I know. And I said, wow, that sucks to be you, buddy.
Try to explain that to the wife, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we got to talking, and he was elaborating a little bit more on this bull. What they did is they hired an outfitter. $1,000 a piece for him and his buddy. Rode in on a horse, right into the herd, got off, shot the bull.
With flashlights on.
Yeah, I was like, holy cow. Well, no, I was like,
I'm sorry.
no, I was like,
now I'm gonna.
Story,
Now you're gonna have to
he'll have
edit
to
that out.
bleep it.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Just put a beat.
Because you can't say videos.
yeah, it's
Don't
bad.
say My kids are gonna listen to this.
Okay, anyway,
Anyway, back to the story, all
Well,
right?
that freaking bad.
so
language.
I do the right thing. I congratulate the guy because he's from North Dakota. This is a once in a lifetime hunt. Comes
He's
out.
from North Dakota.
Yeah.
Yeah, North Dakota, yo.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah, surely.
He says, "Why don't you come down to my camp and I'll show you the head?" Okay. So we're driving and he's like hauling. I mean, excuse me.
Hauling.
Derriere, Glutamus Maximus. He's hauling,
Can't say
and I'm
yes.
like, I was doing 20 in the truck, and it's slick and it's icy, and my truck needs new shoes, and he's like hauling in this little four-wheeler that's got tractor tires on it. I'm keeping up, and then all of a sudden we get down towards the bottom. He's like slamming on the brakes, and I'm like, what the see you camp? And about that time I see this flash come across the road, and it was Flash, like Flash Gordon, except brown.
What was it?
I slammed on the brakes. He's trying to jump out of his thing, throws up his scope. He can't see anything because the front end of it's packed with snow and ice. I grab, and about this time I'm grabbing my rifle, racking around in there, pull up on it, and all I see is about 2 seconds. 1001, it's gone. 5 cows cross the road.
That sucks.
Yes. And so we stood there cursing for a couple of minutes. Then we're like, okay.
Cursing that guy.
So we followed him down to his camp. It's not really a camp. It's where he parked his trailer and the four-wheelers.
Is it the guy that's in like the burgundy SUV with a white enclosed hard side trailer?
I thought it was a black enclosed.
I didn't pay attention.
I
saw the inside.
Was the head in the trailer or was it outside?
It was in
He
the
was
trailer.
in the trailer,
Oh, no,
up in
it was
the head.
The one we saw
So
was outside.
he comes, he stops, and lets down the thing. Saw the most beautiful 6x6 head. Gorgeous. Then I told him about ivory. He didn't know anything about the ivory.
What's ivory?
Yeah, the ivory, the tusk. And
Yeah,
he's
you
like,
gotta dig them out.
he's like, what do you do with that? I was, I mean, you can make a necklace out of it. You can put it into a watch band, rings,
No,
You
you
guys
say
know that?
it's
whatever.
I've read that somewhere.
Yeah.
very back teeth. Grab them.
No, not the back ones. They're tusks. They're right here.
Not that they're in the back. No,
Mm.
they're in the front there.
Same like your eye teeth almost.
Yeah.
But beautiful, beautiful bull. And he took a picture of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, 1, fresh elk tracks. 2, actually seen elk, cows. And 3, I think that's where we should go tomorrow. And
to that.
the other thing is, when we were up on top, it's even though it's 10.5 or 10.2, it's not that bad of a walk. I mean, if those lowlanders can do it, I'm sure you guys could too. You just gotta go a little slower.
Be like,
But-
steps.
I know, but what I was thinking is like, since Ted's the only one who brought a 4-wheeler up.
Two-wheeler. It's not even a four-wheel drive, is it?
No, it's not a 4-wheel drive, but it is a 4-wheeler.
It has 4 wheels on it.
Got
With
4
bald
wheels
tires,
on it.
though.
That's okay. We'll have fun.
We'll have an wiper
If
up
it
there.
tips over a couple times, it's all right.
So if we go up to the top and park up there and hunt that, and we get something, worst case is, and the roads ain't that steep. I'm
Worst
sure
case
your
is you fall over the
two-wheeler
edge.
can do it.
We
We
can
can,
put chains on it.
yeah, and we can, and I got a rope. We can drag.
We spent a day up there. We saw tracks up there.
So,
We saw tracks up there.
but what I don't advocate for seriously is that part in the story when the hill goes whoop like that.
Oh, you want to go over there?
I'm not going over that. I'm not going over that unless I have motorized transport taking me back to the top.
Helicopter or
Forget it.
something.
Oh, I will
I'll
die on that
thing
slope.
is steep.
So